Why use a cargo bike for freight? Welcome to this CityAir presentation, which will provide information about using cargo bikes and cycle couriers for moving freight around the City of London. Firstly, a brief introduction to the CityAir Business Engagement Programme. The programme engages with businesses with the aim of imagining what a cleaner air City of London would look like and implementing measures to bring this about. The benefits to business of the programme are that we provide personalised one-to-one advice, toolkits on reducing your company's emissions and saving costs, advice on quick wins to implement immediately with a view to longer-term changes, have healthier employees by advising on how they can reduce their air pollution exposure and encouraging more people to cycle or walk to work, and help your business achieve its CSR targets. The programme is free to business. Please get in touch if you'd like to join it. What are we going to discuss in this presentation? We will set the scene by describing air pollution in the City of London, how goods are transported around, planned and COVID-related transport changes and freight guidance, and then move on to discuss why and how business can change to use cargo bikes and cycle couriers to move goods and services. We will finish with the case studies and links to more information. I will give a brief overview of air pollution in the city prior to lockdown. Nitrogen dioxide pollution limits were exceeded in some areas of the city. The green areas in the map are below limits, whereas the yellow and red areas exceed limits. The red areas, the highest, are concentrated along main roads. Around half of London's air pollution comes from road transport. Long-term exposure to air pollution is known to harm health, in particular the lungs and heart. Now we'll move on to how goods are moved around the city. What was the situation prior to lockdown? In 2018, 90% of freight and servicing was by road in London, most of which are by vans and HGVs. In 2013, vans and HGVs were responsible for 33% of road transport NOx emissions in Greater London. Freight vehicles are 1/3 of the morning peak traffic in central London. The Mayor of London aims to reduce this by 10% by 2026. On the other hand, van traffic is expected to increase 26% by 2041. And 2017 research says that with support from all partners, up to 14% of vans could be replaced by cycle freight by 2025. With COVID, could this now be more? There are a number of planned and COVID-related transport changes. The planned regulatory changes. Some have recently taken place and others are planned for the near future. In June 2020, the congestion charge operating hours were extended 24 hours, 7 days a week, with most exemptions removed. The expansion of the ultra-low emission zone out to the north and south circular roads is planned for October 2021, currently covers the congestion charge zone. Introducing the direct vision standards in 2021 for HGVs over 12 tonnes to protect cyclists. City of London transport strategy and plans to encourage active travel. CityAir cross-river partnership, zero emissions network, and local business improvement districts are encouraging the move towards zero emission vehicles. This provides us with the background policies that are discouraging motorised vehicles, in particular diesel, and moving towards low emission transport. COVID-related transport changes. City of London is implementing changes to streets in the square mile to provide additional space for people walking and cycling, ensure the gradual safe return of people to work, live and visit the square mile, in particular from August 2020. Streets in the city have been classified into 3 tiers based on the level of intervention that will be needed to make them safe enough to maintain social distancing. Keep up to date with these changes on the COVID-19 City Streets page of the City of London website. Tier 1 roads. These include time closures to motor vehicles, either 24 hours a day or 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Reallocation of carriageway space for walking, queuing, cycling, and providing bus priority. Closure to through traffic or other changes in operation, such as a one-way system. The streets that these apply to are Cannon Street between Queen Victoria Street and Monument Junction, Cheapside and Poultry, Old Jewry and Coleman Street, Lombard Street, Leadenhall Street and St Mary Axe, Threadneedle Street and Old Broad Street. They're in the darker blue on the map there. Tier 2 and Tier 3. Tier 2 streets will require little or no reallocation of space that might require closures to through traffic or other changes such as one-ways to reduce through traffic. Tier 3 streets are unlikely to require any significant changes to layout or operation. Some reallocation of space may be required where pavement widths are below 2 to 3 metres, in places where queuing might occur or where space is needed to be provided for people cycling. Across all streets, changes will be delivered in stages and reviewed on an ongoing basis. At the same time, the Strategic Transportation Team have written guidance for managing freight and servicing activity. You can see the document with the link there as well. Whilst principally intended to enable more effective social distancing, the guidance is also encourages long-term behaviour change to reduce and retime freight and servicing activity as per the ambitions of the transport strategy. To achieve the maximum effectiveness, the guidance is aimed at all businesses, not those just on the impacted streets with the on-street changes. Actions are tailored for city occupiers by type, covering commercial offices, retail, hotels, pubs, restaurants, construction and waste. Each measure considers the noise sensitivity of the streets in question and what retiming is appropriate for the individual activities in each location. How goods can be moved by cycle couriers and cargo bikes. Delivery by cycles. Whilst all zero-emission deliveries are an air quality improvement on those by internal combustion vehicles, electric vehicles still contribute to congestion, contribute to particulate matter pollution from tyre and brake wear. The previous stated transport changes encourage cycle-based courier solutions. Hence, at CityAir, we are encouraging deliveries by pedal cycle couriers and cargo bikes where possible. The aim of this section is to showcase the possibilities for business to undertake deliveries of freight and servicing by these means. The types of deliveries by cycles are typically last mile, first mile, and point-to-point deliveries. The figure here illustrates how these deliveries work. Point-to-point delivery are where the trip begins and ends with business or customer. Typically, this includes mail, parcels, food, and grocery deliveries, and SME business logistics. First and last mile delivery services handle the local distribution or collection of goods as part of a larger distribution chain. They generally require a distribution centre. The benefits of deliveries by cycles are improved journey time reliability, reduced costs for business, public relations, active travel, reduced emissions and improved air quality, reduced noise, and reduced congestion and the overall dominance of motor traffic. Let's take each of those in turn. Improved journey time reliability. The use of cycle lanes and restricted access routes allows cycle freight vehicles to take shorter routes and bypass congestion and roadworks. Cycle couriers can generally get closer to the delivery location and are not continually searching for parking spaces. Prior to COVID-19, journeys made by cycles can be 20 to 50% faster than those made by van, according to the 2018 cycle freight study for TfL. For an example of journey time reduction, you can look at the AV2 Hire website. They're an audio-visual equipment hire company that use cycles rather than diesel vans. With the COVID-related changes to road space and layouts, it's likely that cycle couriers will continue to be faster than vans. Reduced costs for business. Cargo bikes are cheaper than vans overall, and the initial purchase price of a cargo bike is comparable to 1 to 3 years of a van leasing agreement. More on that later on the next slide. Cycles can have lower running costs compared to motorized delivery and service vehicles. There are no parking fines or congestion charges. This saves business money over time, but also allows business to expand their vehicle fleets more economically than they could if they were using vans. Subcontracting to a cycle logistics company for ongoing or ad hoc deliveries is comparable to van-based couriers as well. Shorter and more reliable journey times can give businesses more flexibility in when deliveries can be made and in the range of delivery services they can offer. So overall, it's quicker, they're quicker, more reliable, comparable price per delivery, and offer more flexibility in the delivery options. Seems like a win-win. Now on to a table showcasing the costs. So we have the vehicle costs there. You can see that they're comparable 1 to 3 years of a van lease hire price, but the annual running costs are significantly lower, especially regarding fuel costs, congestion charge saving, and parking penalties. On to public relations. Reducing emissions and improved air quality can be used for positive PR, and they can also fulfill CSR supply chain commitments. Active travel. Delivering bicycles offer health benefits to employees through increased activity. Employees that have switched from driving a van to riding a cycle report high satisfaction with the increased daily activity. There is a reduced level of van traffic, can encourage other commuters to cycle too. So there's a positive feedback loop. Reduced noise. There's no noisy vehicles or offloading equipment on the cycles, so they work well for areas where freight timings cannot be changed, such as residential or hotels. Reduced congestion and the overall dominance of motor traffic. The use of cycles also reduces the space required at the curbside for loading and unloading. Saves time as they're not repeatedly searching for parking spots. Now on to the reduced emissions and improved air quality benefit. Replacing motorized vehicles with cycles can significantly improve air quality. Each LGV replaced saves 3 kilograms of NOx emissions, 21 grams of particulate matter, and the equivalent health damage cost saving of £270 per year. Each HGV replaced saves 7 kilograms of NOx emissions and saves 60 grams of particulate matter pollution, and the equivalent health damage cost saving of £700 per year. Barriers to uptake. The barriers to uptake have been the lack of space for distribution, Commercial and industrial land has been lost in London in the last 20 to 30 years. However, trials have been undertaken in council car parks and market areas. Awareness and capability. Awareness is generally low. The public is often limited to thinking of Deliveroo as the example of cycle couriers. Also, low awareness of the types of bikes compared to purchasing a van. However, there are now a large variety of cargo bikes available, and many have electric assist. We'll look at those shortly. It also requires a change in operation and capital costs. So we'll discuss costs. We have discussed costs, and we'll look at those a little bit more, but they are cheaper in the long term. The lack of secure parking and storage has historically been a problem, and a lack of third-party cycle couriers also. However, the number in London is quite low, but is starting to grow significantly. Opportunities and solutions. Cycle couriers work well in dense urban areas such as the City of London. As we said, the main services are last mile, first mile, and point-to-point and local services. There's a variety of cycle-based delivery types with loads up to 300 kilograms and 2 cubic meters, where compared to a standard panel van can carry 900 kilograms and 6 cubic meters. As I said, electric assistance is widely available. Cargo bikes are a similar width to a standard bike, so they can use most cycle lanes and move around congestion easily. Cycle trikes can carry more, but are less maneuverable. They need wider cycle lanes and access routes. Also, the carrying capacity is suitable for generally suitable for lighter items. Boxes, packages, parcels, books, magazines, food, and some tools. Cargo bikes are less suited to bulky items such as construction material. However, there are some examples of this. So overall, cycle couriers are not intended as a complete replacement for vans. There are many opportunities where they can be used. There are a variety of different cargo and e-cargo bikes that are in use. In this slide, there are a few examples of the different types of bikes that are being used in London by individual companies, cycle couriers, and other delivery companies. The width and load capacities are highlighted next to each bike. Also, the Cross River Partnership, an organisation working across London, has a directory of zero-emission vehicles and cycle courier companies on their website. The link is provided at the top of the screen there. Additionally, this current largest model of e-cargo bike is this one, which is used by Pedal Me Cycle Courier Company. Their bike can carry equivalent volume to a small van and up to 150 kilograms weight, whereas a bike and trailer rig can carry more volume than a standard transit. They cite an example of carrying 230 boxes of flowers for one of their clients, whereas a standard transit was only able to carry 170. The cycle and trailer rig can carry 150 kilograms on the bike and 150 on the trailer, or up to 220 kilograms on the trailer with weight redistributed off the bike, with the total up to 300 kilograms. And their loading requirements are just needing access to a loading bay. Let's move on to some more case studies. Sustrans, the Sustainable Transport NGO, with 53-person workforce, undertook their office move from Farringdon to Tower Hamlets by cycle courier. They moved a 117 kilogram printer, 110 storage boxes, 50 crates of IT equipment, 3 cupboards, 2 smoothie bikes, all using e-cargo bikes rather than large diesel vans. You can see a video of the operation on their website. There are numerous cargo bike trials and other examples. They include bakeries, wine cellars and other groceries, audio-visual equipment hire, Sainsbury's Co-op, IKEA, T&T, pathology tests, the Guy's and St Thomas Hospital NHS Trust, and intercity medical tests between Oxford and London using a cargo bike, intercity rail and cargo bike system. UPS parcel service trial of electric assist trailer in the Camden area is shown in the top left. It replaced a 7.5-ton van. In the top right, there's an example of the trikes that courier company Zedify use in London. In the bottom left, there is the example of Champagne-Lassalle, which replaced a van with a cargo bike. It's e-assist with a weatherproof container, as you can see, and it can carry up to 100 bottles. They say it has reduced the cost of delivery with no congestion charge and no parking tickets, and made parking much easier too. And in the bottom right is the DHL quadricycle bike trial in New York. There is a similar system available in London. Cycle courier links. Some of the cycle couriers that operate in the City of London include Absolute Couriers, City Sprint, Pedal Me, and Zedify. And for more information on cycle couriers and logistics, you can contact the UK and European Cycle Logistics Federation. Their websites are below. And finally, thank you for listening. And if you're interested to find out more about the CityAir program, please contact us via the means there. Thank you very much.